7:44, a pattern of deception. That is what the prosecution in the Alex Murdaugh trial says the latest evidence shows. Yesterday, the state presented some new video showing the former attorney inside of an ambulance after a botched suicide attempt. This stems from a shooting that happened on September 4th of 2021, 2 months after the murders of his wife and son, Paul and Maggie. Murdaugh said he was shot while on the side of the road in Hampton County. Well, he later confessed to staging the shooting and hiring Curtis Smith, who you see on the right-hand side of your screen, to shoot him. He says this was an attempt to let his surviving son, Buster, collect money from his life insurance policy. And during court yesterday, a South Carolina Law Enforcement Division agent took the stand explaining how Alex's story changed about what happened on the side of the road.
Did Alex Murdaugh ever say that there was any risk or threat to Buster?
He said no. No, he did not. He actually denied it when we asked.
Did Alex Murdaugh say that Curtis Eddie Smith had anything to do with the murders at Moselle?
He denied it when we asked.
And is there any evidence that Curtis Eddie Smith had anything to do with Moselle?
None whatsoever.
Well, that was Special Agent Ryan Kelly on the stand that we just heard from. The state hoping to use this testimony to show the jury Alex's guilty conscience and lying abilities. Well, the defense arguing that this only has to do with his financial crimes that he was committing to continue funding his opioid addiction. The trial will wrap up week 4 today. And here to break down everything you need to know as we head into the 20th day is Haley Spitler.
Finances, pills, and lies. That's what Murdaugh says he revealed to his close friend Chris Wilson before orchestrating a plan that would have him shot and killed so his son Buster could get that life insurance payout. The roadside shooting testimony now allowed in court after Judge Newman flip-flopped his ruling Wednesday. This as another crime scene expert takes the stand, saying Paul could not have shot himself, and it is possible Maggie was killed after Paul. And joining me again this morning is our trial analyst, attorney Lori Murray. Lori, let's dive into the roadside shooting testimony. Prosecutors believe this botched plan kind of shows Murdaugh had a guilty conscience. The defense says this is only related to his alleged financial crimes. What do you think the jury will take away from this testimony?
You know, a jury does whatever a jury wants to do. And honestly, this evidence probably should have come in all along. It's part of the whole case itself. I mean, it absolutely is related, so it should have come in all along. I can't tell you what a jury is going to think about it. I know that when Maggie's sister took the stand, she said, I think it was something like, you know, we believe that he was in danger, and that all changed in September. Well, what was in September was this roadside shooting. So it changed her mind about what was going on with Alec. And so therefore, I would believe that it might change the jury's mind as well.
I know Curtis Smith, the man Alec arranged to shoot him, is on the witness list for the state. Do you think they will actually call him to testify?
Listen, hey, I think both sides want him on the stand, but nobody wants to call him. They want to be able to cross-examine him, but they don't want to be the one to direct examine him, because you don't know what he's going to say. He's a loose cannon. He's given a couple of different versions as to what happened that day and where he was that night. So he's a loose cannon. They both want to call him. They both want that testimony in, but they want the other side to call him.
And I know yesterday you said you think the defense opened the door for the roadside shooting testimony as kind of a strategy, not a mistake. So far, do you think Kelly's testimony is helping the state or the defense's case? I do know the defense has yet to cross-examine him.
Well, I want to be clear on that too, because I think that they opened the door and they thought that they would be able to limit his testimony. So when he opened the door, he asked the question, are you aware that Alec was paying Curtis Smith $50,000 a week for opioid drugs? So he thought he was going to be able to limit that testimony from Curtis Smith or about Curtis Smith to the opioid usage, not that all of the roadside shooting would come in. So I think that it kind of backfired on him. It definitely opened the door. But now we've got everything. We've got the roadside shooting in, and that's how they were able to get that 3rd interview or 4th interview. God knows how many interviews this man has given now in the presence of his attorneys, which is absolutely ridiculous. Not only did he give that interview with regard to the roadside shooting, but his own lawyer was the one asking him the questions. It's crazy. No defense lawyer would do that. But so, yeah, I think that it is going to change everything, but I think they meant to limit it. I don't think they meant to get all of this in that's come in.
Now, did anything else stand out to you from yesterday? I know we also heard from that crime scene witness who discussed these shootings of Paul and Maggie.
I thought he was fantastic. we had the medical examiner come in, and Dick Harpootlian was able to make some really good points with her. I don't think he's made as many points with the guy yesterday as he did with the medical examiner, because he stood his ground. He was out at the scene. He did his investigation. He did his homework. The one thing that stood out about his testimony, the one point that Dick Harpootlian was able to get in, is that the second shot from Paul came from a crouched down position, like really, Paul was not a tall guy, so really low. So if you're going to look at that low shooting coming in, Alec is a very tall man. So he's trying to make the point that Alec was not the one who shot him because of the angle of the bullet going through him.
Well, thank you again for joining us this morning, Lori. Court will resume at 9:30 with the cross-examination of Special Agent Kelly. Don't forget, you can watch the trial inside the Fox Carolina News app. That can be streamed on Roku, Apple, and Fire TV. We also have a live blog and live chat on our website. We're showing you what that looks like here, so you can catch up on anything you missed or chime in with others watching. This is on foxcarolina.com. And Lori Murray will be joining us every weekday right around 7:40 throughout the entirety of the Murdaugh trial. Make sure and tune in each morning to hear her main takeaways on the trial.